Hello everyone, it's Muhammad again and welcome back to another episode or I shall say this time, welcome back to the most exciting episode. Okay, let's finish my ordinary introduction first. And welcome back to another episode in making 2D game using Unreal Engine 4. Today's episode is very special. I think it's the most special episode in this series. Or you can say it was the second reason to select Braid the game to make it as an example. Today's episode we are going to construct our rewinding feature. For the people who never played Braid before, it means when you die or anytime in the game, if you hold shift, the game keep rewinding back what you already done. So let's open our level scene. Where is my cursor? Yeah, it's here. Sometimes cursor get hidden. It's something back to the viewport. Anyway, so let's start first. So in this video will contain lots of stuff. So if your mind is not clear enough, so go and make some tea or get some coffee or something, get some rest because it's a little complex. So in this video, we'll start making our saving data and we're going to make our custom for loop, and we're going to make pretty much everything I get introduced before making this series. So let's start first by making our saving class. So I'll go to blueprint and let's make a new blueprint here. It's based on save game. Yep. And let's call it saver. So if you already watched the video I made before about saving data inside Unreal Engine, so you can run this couple of minutes. And if you didn't, so you can keep with me. So here is in this saver class we already made, or the class I called saver. It's based on savegame.h. So here I'm going to put the value I'm going to save. So the value I'm going to save is Tim position, this character position, and his position. In fact, I'm not going to save his position. Let's save all his transform position and rotation as well. So let's add here a variable, and let's call this variable, for example, Timmy. It's a nice name. And this variable is transform. But here's the thing: we are going to save an array. So let's select as array. So this is first step. So let's save and compile. Okay, this is good. Second thing, we are going to make our for loop, which I introduced before in another video called macros and for loops or something. So this for loop will be a macro. But where are we going to put this macro? In fact, we're going to put this macro inside the team controller here. So let's come here first and let's say we're going to make a macro. If you didn't watch the video before, in a nutshell, this macro means if we're going to use a for loop, instead of increasing the variable inside the loop, we are going to decrease the variable inside the loop. So let's say instead of starting the loop saying, okay, the value is 1, and the next iteration of the loop, the value will be 2, and then 3, and then 4, and 5, and 6. No, here in this custom loop, we are going to say we are going to start, for example, with 100, and the next iteration of the loop will be 99, and then 98, 97, and so on. So let's call the macro here for loop minus minus. I really like this name. And to start making it, I will need to put some inputs and some outputs. What's these inputs and outputs? So let's come here and add a normal for loop, just a very normal for loop, and let's double click this for loop to open it, and then select everything here and copy, and let's close this for loop and say goodbye. We don't, let's not say goodbye, let's keep it here for a moment. I want to show you something, and let's come here and let's command V to paste everything. So let's put here the input and outputs. What's this inputs and outputs? Basically, this inputs and on outputs is here. So you can see this is the inputs and this is the outputs. So you have the inputs, you have execution, you have first index, last index, and the output is loop body and index and what happened when it's completed. If you open here, select inputs or outputs, you'll find here this is the same things we have. The execution called execute, the integer for first index, last index, and so on. So this is inputs and outputs. So yeah, I kept it, show it for you. So let's come again to team controller and let's open our for loop and let's add this these variables in here. So I'm going to input and add three variables, excuse me. The first one is the type of execution, and I'm going to call this one execute. And the second variable will be integer, and the last one will be integer as well. This one we'll call the first index or index A or whatever. And second one we'll call it last index. So this is the inputs. What about the outputs? We have three as well. We have the execution one called loop body, and we have the output, this output integer, which is the index, and last thing we have execution when the loop completed successfully. Yep. So let's connect this stuff. So to make it looks like, let's delete this, we don't need anymore. So to make it looks like this loop, it's already connected, and you should keep in mind here we have less than or equal. We are going to change this thing in our custom loop. So let's open our custom loop again, and let's basically delete this, and let's put greater than. Let's connect here the greater than, and let's connect this execution in here and in the loop body here, and if it's false, completed. And let's get the variable here, the index itself, just to make it clear for me. Yeah, and first index in here, last index in here, this one here, and yeah, it's already here. So just to make sure from everything, this variable connected with the variable here, and the value is the first index, last index here. So everything connected, execution and completed. So it's fine, let's save and complete. So this one was for loop because we are basically going to use this for loop in saving and rewinding our data. One more thing here, we need to add some variables. So if you watched the video of saving data or loading data, we made here a variable to start loading the data. So let's add a variable. This variable type will be save game, so the same as the class we already have, and let's call it, okay, new var is fine. Oh, let's call it saver variable, saver var. So saver variable, so it's a nice name. And let's add a couple of variables I'll be using to debug some information on the screen, and I'll be using during the loop. So let's put a variable here, integer, and let's call it past frames. And let's add another one. Let's call it amount. After a few minutes you will know where exactly you are going to use this amount. And let's add a variable call it values or vals, and this one is transform to be able to read the values we already saved using the saver class. So yeah, it's this type because if you open this here saver class, we have here a variable which is transform variable, and it's array as well. So we should have an equivalent one here, but with a different name. And let's add one more thing, frame loader. This frame loader shouldn't be array and should be integer. So we already set up everything, so let's start making something cool. So first thing, I want to make this frame calculation, so I keep debugging some messages on my console or on my screen. So I will start with tick because well, so even tick. Oh, there is a tick here. Okay, tick, which is update or something in another meaning. So let's get the past frames here. The past frames value. Let's get it, and let's add one. So in each frame passing, we are going to add 1 to this value. So yeah, because tick takes place every 1 frame all the time in another meaning. So yeah, and let's set amount. This one. Okay, let's take the value, because after doing this process we are going to print the value. So let's change this to string, yeah, integer to string, and let's print to my screen. Let's print this value. So some options you can change. For me, I just prefer to change the color to something special. And last thing, let's connect this tick by setting here this value. So let's pass frames set. So which value are going to set? Yeah, indeed, this value, and connect this with tick. So okay, no problem. Let's connect this here, connect tick here, or you can connect tick here and here, and this last thing we can connect from here. Okay, cool. So basically we say on update, or another meaning on each frame, we are going to take this variable which is start with 0 and add 1 to it, and then print. So simple. So you can try this now. 2, yeah, okay. Print the screen and print to log. Let's open our log here. Okay, let's first delete the old messages from the player here, which appear here, the messages from the enemy. So let's open our enemy here quickly. It's event graph, and let's come to the print and not print anymore. Is there any other print here? I don't think so. So let's save and compile. And let's come here, just make sure tick, yeah, set the frames. Should be fine. Oh, oh, yeah. It's not working because I have connected the wrong way. So let's put this here. No, let's keep it here. And this one need to be connected with somewhere more safe, somewhere we are going to make sure it will take place, because normally now it's connected with other functions that maybe not take place. So let's say select something here. Okay, start. Here's the thing. We're going to print, and then we're going to do any other thing. So yeah, it's more safe now. Let's play, and frames. Lots of frames, waves. Okay, just one thing to be more clear along the way. I'm going to add here comment area and call this changing frames, or maybe frame counter. Yeah, frame counter is good. Okay, let's then check here our inputs. Okay, vertical, horizontal, and jump. Okay, and there is no shift key in here. Cool. Let's add shift key. I was hoping to add it here as well with the main key events, but yeah, because I cannot add the shift key function here, it needs to be in a big area. Or okay, let's add it here, and then I will reorganize everything. So let's add here a rewinder or rewinding. And if you're wondering what is this rewinding, and if you totally forget, we can come here again to the project settings. If you remember, in a couple of previous videos, we came here to inputs and we set up our axis and buttons inputs. So it's called rewinding, which represented in left shift button. Anyway, let's come back here again, and yeah, it's rewinding. So basically we are going to check if this rewinding button have been pressed or no. So this rewinding button, and if branch, if it's true, so we are going to rewind. If it's false, we are going to keep saving data. So basically, if the player not touching shift key, it means he's playing, so let's save data. If he touch shift key, it means stop playing and start rewinding the player's data. Okay, so yeah, okay, and there is condition here. I want to check something. The axis value means the press on the button. So basically, if you are, it's not occurring 100% on keyboard, but let's imagine you are using a controller where you can press versus pressure. So let's say here equals 1. So basically we say rewinding equals 1, which means the player pressed the button totally, all the value from the button. This is the condition. So then we have true and we have false. Okay. And I want to put here stuff here, so we can move the animations. Oh, we cannot move. Okay, we can move the, oh, this one connected. Okay, no problem. We can take this one here as well. You can move it even more far. And you see. Okay, now it's clear. Now it's clean area. So we can start working with rewinding or saving. whatever, it doesn't matter. But before we start with rewinding and saving, I want to add one more thing. Just on begin play, I want to add some values, to set some values. So whenever the player starts playing again, the game starts from the beginning, we reset everything. So let's check first if I have a begin play here. Yeah, there is no one. So let's add a new one in here, and this area looks cool area. So let's press begin play. Yeah, there is no one in the game. I will check the load process. So load game from slot, and remember the slot name. We can select any name. Let's call it team position, something to express what's going on. So it's team position. Team pos is fine. Okay, and let's cast to server our class. Okay, let's connect here, and let's select our saver. So let's basically get our saver class, and here set saver. Okay, we're just defining our saving process and what exactly we are saving. What is our target? It's what? Yeah, I can hear you. If you came here, it's Timmy. Yeah, this is our target. So let's come here and select Timmy. Let's get Timmy, and let's set frame loader. Let's get last index. Last index means the last index in this array. So there's two things you should know the difference between: the array length and the last index. There's a huge difference between them. So let's say we have 10 values inside this array called Timmy. So the length of this Timmy variable is 10, which it means how many variables it contains. But if we set this variable last index, so then, and it's 10 objects, so it means last index is 9, because any array starts with 0, not with 1. So there is a huge difference between last index and other thing. And let's frame, set the frame loader. Okay, just we reset everything to the last index of Timmy. So when we start the game, we load from the slot called team position, and we reset everything to this last index. And we can change this later if we doesn't like. Basically, this keeps us saving the game between sessions. So it means if we play now and we stop and we play again, we can keep rewinding the old data from the previous session. Okay, so we can remove this later and we can keep it. So just, yeah, so let's add comment area here, and let's call it in the start. So just things take place when the game starts running. And frame counter is fine. Okay, let's come here to our two conditions. So we have two conditions. First, the player pressing shift. Second, the player is not pressing shift. If the player pressing shift, so we are rewinding. If he's not pressing shift, you are saving. So let's start with the second case first, which is the normal case. The player is not pressing shift at all. Okay, so we are going first to check the saver. So does save game exist? So basically we are going to check if the save game already exists, which is slot name or the file name or whatever we call it. If it's already exists, okay. If it's not exist, let's create a new one. So we called it here team position, team boss. Okay, team boss. We should make sure that the name is still the same. Okay, so we're going to check first if it is exist. Okay, and then let's make an if condition using this condition, return this condition. Okay, if it's true, we're going to load. If it's false, we're going to create. So let's start first with the false. Create what? Create save game object. Yeah, this one. Okay, let's create save game object based on the class we already made here called saver. Yup, you are doing so well. So yeah, it's here based on this saver. And normally you'll find Unreal Engine adding this _C, it means class or something. Okay, we are going to create one paste on this one, and then saver not cast set. Should be able to set this. Yeah, set saver value and return from here. Oh, let's take it a little down because we have a true as well here. Okay, and let's finish first the false and then jump to the true. Okay, and then we're going to cast for the saver class. So cast. Okay, let's get first here a reference to this. We're going to use this a lot here. So cast to saver, and let's connect this one after this one. And after casting to this saver, let's stop here. Okay, let's stop here and let's work with the true condition, because now I should start working with saving in this variable and loading from this variable. So let's work with the true condition and jump working in this array. Okay, so if it is true, if there is already file exists here, so we are going to load. So load game from slot, and the slot name is of course team position. And let's copy this one, almost the same process, almost, but not the same. And copy this one, and let's connect with the same saver variable. So now it's almost the same. Here's the changes we're going to make. So first let's work with the false, which there weren't any file, and we create a saving file. Okay, we create saving file. Let's start to save our data. What exactly we are going to save? We are going to save team position, every frame, X, Y, and Z position. So let's set here Timmy, take this variable, we're going to set this variable, or let's make it with another way. It's called what? Yeah, let's get Timmy. So IMM, yeah, get Timmy. And okay, let's keep it get now Timmy and set Timmy. And what we are going to set here, And finally, let's save to slot. Save game to slot. And it's still the same slot. I cannot see the cursor here. Anyway, team position. And never forget our saver variable. Okay, just make sure everything is connected. Casting failed, it will not fail, I'm sure. And okay, it's a target, team position, and save to slot. Yeah, should be fine. Should be fine. Let's save. Okay, let's work now with loading from slot. So what's happening now? We are going to load and then save at the same time. Or another meaning, we are going to read and check what exactly we have and then start saving again. So don't forget, we are still now working with the case that the player is not pressing shift at all. So here, after casting to saver, let's take here Timmy, the same Timmy here, this one. We can take it, we can get it from here, Timmy. So let's get Timmy and let's take the same one here. You can copy, you can drag it, whatever. And let's almost connect the same and connect Timmy as well here. That's fine. Okay. So we are going to add to this variable because now we are writing, we are saving. So before saving the data, we are going to modify this data. So we're going to modify this. So let's come here and add. Okay. What exactly we are going to add? What is the value we are going to add? Which transform value we are going to add? Yes, it's this actor transform. So let's get this actor, get reference to this, and let's get actor transform. So we get actor transform, and this is the value we're going to save. Okay, where we're going to save this value, or where we're going to add, or where we're going to push this value, in which index? Yeah, it's index inside this array. As you can see, I like this thing in this blueprint that it's gray now. It means there's something missing. You have to fix it. Like connect. You are cool now. Everything's fine now. So I like this feature. Okay, anyway. So after we added this value here, we are going to run setting to set our array. Okay, and what else? Yeah, we're going to take here the index. I would like to take the index because I would like to print some messages. So I'll take this index here and let's say get, and from, as you can see from the array utilities, we're going to get. So basically it means we're going to get the value inside this index. So we return the index and we are going to get the value from inside this index. Okay, let's connect here because Timmy is the same as this one. So let's connect here. And because transform is position, rotation, scale, which mean 9 values, so we just need the position for now because I think Timmy is not rotating or scaling in our level. So let's break this. Let's break transform and let's break to location, rotation, and scale. Let's just take our location and transform to string to be able to print, and then let's print. Let's give it some color. Let's take something red is fine. Okay. Okay, so we got this value to print. Okay, what else we still need? Yes, we still need to save to slot like we already did in here. So let's take this one and save game to slot. save game slot, and the slot name is already team position. Okay, and don't forget our saver variable in here. Sorry, my Facebook keep blinking. Okay, that's fine. And this is the slot name. And I would do one thing. I want to take the value from here just to make sure we already saved. So let's take toString. So here it means we're going to print if it's already saved, it is successfully saved, or false, it's not saved. So, and let's print this one as well. And because my background is dark, let's select something like shiny green. Okay, what else we can do? I would like to print as well our last index, so basically to know the capacity of our array. So let's take this here and take our last index. What? Last, wow. Why are you not giving me the last index? Maybe if I take from here, sorry, because this is not an array. So maybe if I take from here last, yeah, this is my last index, which is integer, and let's convert this to string, not get string, convert string, yeah, this one, string, and let's print here as well. Print, and let's give this one, let's say yellow. Okay, so this is the last thing happens. Let's connect all these print messages one after one. So let's connect this one, and let's connect this one, and finally let's pick this here and connect this one here. So I just need to make sure everything's working fine. Yeah, this is the last step. I don't want to print anything here because why I don't want to print anything here, or why I'm not taking care too much with this part here, which is false, because this part will occur one time, I think, because here's the thing. So we start the game and we start playing. We check if the player already pressing shift or no. If the player is not pressing shift, we check if the file exists or not exist. If the file is not exist, we are going to make a new file. And keep in mind, all that happens every frame. So after the first frame of the game, we're going to check again. So we will find that, okay, we no more have no files. We already have file. Let's keep reading and writing in the same file. So it means that this part, this down part, which means the player is not pressing shift, and we are going to make new file. It just will occur one time in the first frame when you run the game, and then we don't need any more. So this is why I'm not taking care of this. I'm not printing any messages from this. I'm not giving any care for this, but I'm taking care for the other part, which is true, which is means there is already a file now. Okay, I'm going just to go quickly reading to make sure that everything's fine. So I'm branching here, and okay, just make sure that I put this team position in every one and have written it correctly, and it's fine, it's fine. Let's come here to this mess. Okay, cast to servers, fine. Okay, and this get is fine. Okay, team position. Okay, and this is the last index. I think it's fine now. Let's yeah. So now the player is not pressing shift and saving data. Let's take everything more down, and let's put a comment area here, and call it saving data. Okay, but what if our player is pressing shift? We are going to rewind the data. Okay, how we are going to rewind the data? So we already have a saved file, so why not load game? Load game from slot, and our slot is team position. And then let's get saver variable, not casting. I prefer to drag from here and set. Yeah, let's set our saver variable. Okay, and then we can cast. Oh, not recast. Okay, let's get the saver variable and then cast. Yeah, cast to saver. And where is this one here? So what is the value we are saving in saver class? Again, it's here. It's called Timmy. So let's get a reference to this Timmy. Get Timmy. So simple. And let's get two values. I want to print something from this Timmy. Also, I want to load value from Timmy. So let's first get the last index of this array and keep it here. I will take this integer to print later. And let's get here. I want to get a variable from inside this huge array. Okay, what exactly I'm going to get from here? The frame loader. So I called it frame loader because it is the current frame we are going to load. So yeah, this is why I called it frame loader before. Anyway, so let's set the frame loader first. What exactly we are going to set here? It's minus 1, and let's get the frame loader. So it means here, it means we are going to set this frame loader to the variable -1. Okay, and this value is very important for me because it will be updated every frame while we are pressing shift. So I want to print this value. So let's convert to string, and let's keep it right now, and then we're going to add the print later. Anyway, so after setting here the value, and we make everything prepared, we're going to set our actor position according to the value we already read from here. So let's set actor transform. Yeah, set actor transform and run after this one. And let's get reference to self, to our current actor, which holds all this code, and we're going to set the transform here. This transform has the value of frame loader, which is this value, which is going to decrease over time as long as we are pressing. Okay, and let's get actor transform. Get our actor transform. I just get actor transform now because I want to print its value, because basically here this set actor transform return me a true. It's not returning me the value of transform. So I'm getting just to debug. So but now you can think it's already finished, or I'm just adding some debugging messages to help me make sure that everything is working fine. So I'm going to break again, as we did before here. Here we break to just read the position value. We don't need to print 9 values. We need just 3 values. Or another meaning, we just need 2 values, x and y, just vertical and horizontal as well. So anyway, let's add toString. Yeah, this vector toString, and let's print. Give it some special color. Yeah, blue is fine. Yeah, there were another string here we print. Yeah, this one. Let's print and give it a different color, say green, and let's connect this one here. We can also print, as we did here print the return value of saving. We can also print here the return value of moving the player to the correct position. So let's toString, it's just to make sure everything working fine, nothing more. So print, and let's connect this here, and let's connect this here as well, so we have a nice workflow. And one more thing, just give it a different color. So just make sure we have everything set up correctly. Team position, okay, it's fine. So if the player is pressing, we are going to load from slot, and the slot name is team position, or the saving file name is team position. And then we do the normal casting to the saving variable, which local saving variable we have here, and we cast from the class we already made, this class. So we are going to cast value, or we are going to read value we saved in the file called Timmy. So we're going to check this Timmy, and maybe we don't need any more because we already print here. Yeah, we already print here, so it's almost the same last index. So we can delete this one, and we're going to get the value and then set the actor transform according to this value. So basically it means we start loading, we open the saving file, and then we check the saving file size, and then we start taking the last number of this of the last number or the last index in this array, and say, okay, this is the current frame loader. And then we take the value x, y, and z, and then set these values to our actor. We move one frame because everything here applied on update or on whenever we press shift. So we move to the next frame, but before moving, we decrease the value -1. Let's say our array here contains 400 value, okay, or 400 transform. So when we start loading the game, we start with the value number 400, set this value to our transform, which is actor transform, and then -1, and then in the next frame, we will start reading 399. I believe everything's fine, so let's just give it a try, because this thing cannot be tested until it's finished. So on start, so let's try and compile. Let's delete this first. I don't need this guy here anymore. And let's drag our start point, because I believe it's still here from the last tutorial. So let's move it more, and here's 5. One more thing, I want to change the jumping value, so because he is jumping too low. So it was here, team controller, and in its components, capsule, and somewhere in here, oh, character movement, and yeah, let's set it to 400 just for now. Let's play. So we are moving and we are jumping, and let's stay here. Let's press shift. Okay, there is something wrong now. Everything starts to be in minus for some reason. So let's try again. Wow, he's rewinding. Yeah, yeah, and stop. Okay, let's stop and let's play again. Or let's stop first and let's go and delete. Yeah, this is tempos. We're going to delete and let's play again. Jump, jump again, and let's jump like several times in the same place. There is something, but if I stop and play again, you jump, same place, back, yeah. So I'm keep pressing shift right now, and he's rewinding what exactly we already did. But yeah, as you can see, the funny thing, he came here and he stay in the air because when we start running the game, the controller was in the air. As you can see here, he start in the air. So I think it's better to put in here. Yeah. So as you can see, he's rewinding everything we did before. He's not rewinding what just happened in this session. Okay, let's check our blueprint here. So we have several problems right now. As far as I can see, the player is loading wrong data on the first time and he's looking to a wrong directions, or I don't think he's looking somewhere. He's just moving like a zombie. And yeah, and he's not running. He's just keep idling. So let's have a look again, sorry. So let's, yeah, I want to delete the saving file first and let's run. If you can see here, I'm running the game, I'm playing the game, but if I rewind, nothing happens. Just camera, go to the first position and nothing happens. But if I stop the game and run again and rewind, it will keep rewinding. So it means one thing here. It means that the player not saving the range or the capacity or the length of the index on the first time we run the game, but later he can read it correctly. This is one issue. Second issue is if we rewind. As you can see, he's idle, he's not running, and he's not looking left or right. So let's fix these problems one by one. So first here, let's jump to the graph again, and okay, let's add something here first. I want to make everything clean and clear because I'm planning to put the project in pip-bucket. So it's already in pip-bucket, but I'm planning to open it from private to public. So let's create a comment here and let's call it rewind data. Okay, the problem we have right now, when we start the game, when we start playing for the first time, we set the frame loader. What is a frame loader? Frame loader is the variable we are using to load the data. It means the frame loader variable represents the current frame we are reading from the data. Okay, so we set the frame loader to the last index of our array. So when we start running the game for the first time, there is no saved data. There is no saved file. So it means that the index is 0. So when we start rewinding for the first time, it read, okay, the frame loader start loading from 0. As you can see, because we are printing the current reading line, you'll see we are going, let's keep the file here. We already have some data. Have a look here. When we start rewinding, the green number is the current line we are reading. It's 100 or something, so it's positive in general because we already have some data. But if we pause the game or stop the game and we delete the saved file, you should have a look here. So we are playing right now. If we start rewind, you will see the green color, which is yellow right now. It will be 0 and suddenly it will start to be minus. So let's rewind. It's 0 and then minus. So it does make sense. So we have to say, okay, let's come here, make it more clear. Okay, yeah, the player pressing or not pressing. Okay, so if we start the game now for the first time and there is no file here, it will read the value as 0. How can we change this value to a number? So when the player starts pressing shift, which is true here, we should have a value to read. So the most easy way to do this thing, so we came here to the false, which means the player is not pressing anything, which means we are saving data. And we go to the last line of code, which means the last node here, and we say save the index, save this as our frame loader. So set frame loader, and let's wire this one here just to put in between everything, and here. So this is exactly means if the player not pressing shift and we are saving data, okay, it's fine. If the player press shift and we stop saving data, okay, let's save our frame loader value here with the last index of our array. So now if we save and compile, let's make sure first we delete, yeah, there is no saved file. So let's start playing from this beginning, jump and stay, come here, jump, jump. When I press shift, it suddenly keep rewinding, even if we are playing from the first time. Yeah, it looks silly that he's not running, but yeah, we are going to fix this later. So yeah, it's cool. I'm very happy with the result. So if we start playing again and we move, jump, jump, he will rewind only this animation or this behavior. So let's stop here and let's come here and get a reference for our theme sprite. Let's get this sprite and let's set or flipbook. Yeah, set flipbook to this sprite and let's select run animation. So when we are going to put this run animation, we're going to put this run animation when he is true. Yeah, when he's true, when he's pressing. And let's put this here. Let's try. It may not work, and I know the reason. So we are running, let's press shift. Yeah, because we have to change the size of our sprite, because we already here, there is a section called animation. Yeah, there is a section called animation. We already here changed the size, the scale of our sprite. And also we have here a Boolean variable which say if it's true or if it's false. So basically we need to communicate or connect this part with the down part, this part with the saving, with the rewinding part, excuse me. So yeah, let's delete this thing from down here, or let's keep it right now and just connect this here, and let's unplug this, save. I want to see something here. You know, we can make a good use of our already exist variable. So let's have a look here again. So when we made this, I cannot remember, but yeah, it was a couple of weeks. But anyway, when we made this, we add here a key pressed. So this is the reason why our sprite is hidden. Okay, this key pressed represent there is a key pressed or no. So it always happen, or it always take place as long as the game is running, because it takes place on tick. So we can make a good use of this. So now we say if the player press shift, let's use the run animation and then start loading from slot, and it's not work. Yeah, it's not working. So let's try again. Maybe we have a miracle and it's work. So I run, and yeah, it's not working. It make it worse. So let's stop this, and I can make something cool here. It's a little tricky and funny. So let's take this key pressed and set, because we always say if this variable is true, means the player pressing a key. So let's load the running animation. If this variable running or jumping, whatever. But if this variable is false, it means the player is not touching the keyboard, so keep idle. So let's say, okay, this variable is true, and let's connect this one here and that one here. So it means if the player press shift key, this variable is true, because he's basically pressing something. And then let's use flip book, and then let's start loading animation. Let's save and compile. This one should work now. So let's delete the save data. I run, and jump, and run, and jump, and run, and let's rewind. So he's used running and rewinding. Yeah, when he jump, he's not using any other animation. It's funny, but yeah, and he keep running. If I moved my hand, yeah, so if I moved again, yep. Yeah, it's funny. Let's just to make it more convenient. So if it's false, I will need to set. So I'll need to set this value to false and connect it here. Okay, if this one false, I need to set this to false and connect here. So now if I moved my hand from shift again, he will keep idling again. So I move, and yeah, it's intersecting with the animations one. Okay, let's stop here and come here. Yeah, set this. Okay, no, it's not working in here. Yeah, anyway, you have an idea of how the flow of making this thing work. So one more thing we have here is the looking direction, or we need to flip the character direction. In fact, to control the character direction, to make him look left or right while rewinding the data, we need to save this. So it means we need to come here first to our blueprint, and in saver class we need to add saving another value, and this value we are going to read this value, and we are going to save this value again in here. So we need to put this value in here again as well. So maybe I can make it right now. I don't know, it's too late, I want to sleep, but let's start checking. Okay, let's try to make it. It's not that big thing. So let's come here to our saver class, and we're going to add a variable which is integer, and let's call it flipping. Okay, and yeah, and let's come here and add the flipping here again as well. Flipping value, which is integer, and it's array. Oh yeah, I need to make it array here as well, sorry. Yep, it's working fine. Oh, I figured out one thing right now. I didn't use my for loop. I did use something more efficient, or not more efficient, it's more quickly and handy here, which is this -1. Anyway, get the job done anyway. So let's start saving. Minus one, one, minus one, one, and we shift. Ah, ha, 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 ha. So it's finally loading. Anyway, it's fine. Yeah, they can rewind. What if I jump? Yeah. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed learning something new, and it was very interesting episode, and be tuned for the upcoming videos, and like, subscribe and share. I'm very tired, I want to sleep. Thank you for watching and see you next episode. Bye.